The 2016 Chicago Cubs magic season continues as he defeated the San Francisco Giants 6-5 in game number 4, the deciding game number 4 in the 2016 National League Division Series. What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Kish, giving you guys a quick recap of game 4 of the 2006 NLDS between the Chicago Cubs and the San Francisco Giants. Now, this is a San Francisco Giants team that's down in the series 2-1. They were able to pull off a big victory in game 3 at home yesterday. Coming into game 4, the team still needs one more game in order to force another game, and they're going to be defending. The Cubs will be going back home to defend home field if they were not able to come out of San Francisco with a win, dropping 2 straight games to the Giants. That is what the Giants want them to do. Now, going into this game, he had Matt Moore on the mound, and what a game Matt Moore had. Matt Moore in the end was just fantastic, pitching a perfect gem, giving up a couple of runs, but nonetheless, the story of the game was how far he went in this game. And do you think it was a little bit too early for him to get pulled, knowing that he was on a hot streak, striking out 10 Chicago Cubs batters? And it was not until the 9th inning where the San Francisco Giants decided to hand it over to their bullpen, the ultimate struggle bullpen, which I was very much concerned for, because this is a Giants bullpen that just dropped the ball so many times during the regular season, including in the second half of the year. It was just not an excellent time to be a Giants fan, including when you're turning it over to a bullpen that is just not good in clutch situations. And, defining tonight, this was not a clutch, this was such a big time. This is, high stakes. This is your guys' season on the line right now. And I thought that, the best option was to try and give Matt Moore that complete game, because I think it could be a completely different outcome if Matt Moore was still up and going for that team into the 9th inning. But regardless of the fact, Derek Law comes into the 9th inning. I'm going to give you guys a complete play-by-play of the 9th inning on what happened. Now, Derek Law comes into the top of the 9th inning for Matt Moore. Law relieved Matt Moore. Chris Bryant gets the best of Derek Law, singling to left center. Javier Lopez relieved Derek Law. Rizzo walks, Bryant gets over to second. Romo relieved Javier Lopez, and this is where I really get nervous, because Sergio Romo is a shell of his former self. Sergio Romo was at one point one of the best closers in baseball, one of the best setup men in baseball for Brian Wilson at the time, and then he is just completely fell off the face of the earth. He's a shell of his former self. His ERA is getting really high up there. He's lost his closer duties to Javier Lopez. It's just it's a complete travesty for Sergio Romo. So regardless of the fact, Romo comes in, and what does he do? He gives, Ben Zobrist comes up, doubles to deep right. Bryant scored, Rizzo to third. Chris Coughlin, pinch hits for Addison Russell. And then Will Smith, the newly acquired Will Smith from the Milwaukee Brewers, comes in, who's had a pretty decent year for the Giants, comes in to relieve Romo. Contreras, pinch hits for Chris Coughlin. Contreras singles to center, the Cubs catcher. Contreras comes in and singles to center, and Rizzo and Ben Zobrist score. Now, Hayward bunts into a fielder's choice to the pitcher. Contreras out at second. Hayward to second on a throwing error by the shortstop Brandon Crawford. Hunter Strickland relieves of Smith. Hernandez in left field. Javier Baez, a guy who has just been a complete dominant force at second base for the Chicago Cubs team, singles to center to give the Cubs a 6-5 lead. And then David Ross grounds out into a double play to end the inning. And then from there, Aroldis Chapman comes in, takes over. 1-2-3. The Chicago Cubs go on to the National League Championship Series to face the winner of the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Washington Nationals. Now, looking into the future for the San Francisco Giants, what really needs to happen? Now, when you go and look at this, I've been a huge Giants fan since day one of my life. I've been watching a lot of baseball, traveling, living around the world from Indiana to New Jersey to New York, whatever the case may be. I've been, just on the road for, the big chunk of my life, watching, teams like the Giants, the Angels, the Yankees. But I've always been a big Giants fan. I grew up watching all these teams, and I just enjoy loving baseball. But the Giants were always a love that I love. I've always enjoyed watching Yankees games. It's just, when you're a reporter, you love sports all around. But when you're focused on one team, and that's the Giants for me. This is your your true love. This is where your heart is. But you have to be non-biased when you're when you're reporting. And that's how I am. But the San Francisco Giants are a team that really needs to start building into their bullpen. They've got a lot of good pieces in that bullpen. You know, guys like Hunter Strickland kind of questions me. Guys like Sergio Romo 100% questions me. Could this be a time where the San Francisco Giants officially pull the plug on Sergio Romo? I think that would be the best thing for the team, because Sergio Romo, no disrespect to the guy at all. He's a tremendous athlete, but I just can't trust him anymore. You know, he's not who he was back in the day when he was along with Brian Wilson and everybody else in that bullpen with Jeremy Affeldt. You know, Sergio Romo was just a guy on the rise for the Giants at that time, but no longer is he, you know, that guy on the rise. He's that guy on the ultimate deterior line. He's fading away in his time with the San Francisco Giants. How many more chances can we give Sergio Romo until we officially pull the plug on him? I think that, you know, he probably sealed his fate in this opportunity right now for the Cubs. And, you know, I'm not pointing the finger just at Romo. You know, guys like Derek Law and Javier Lopez and Hunter Strickland, they all have a fair share of, you know, disappointment towards their way. This is what, you know, the biggest issue is for the San Francisco Giants, is that their bullpen cannot get the job done. And, you know, we saw this before in the series. You know, we've seen, you know, the Giants bullpen completely blow a game before, and it even dates back into the second half of the year. Look at how bad their bullpen was in the second half of the year. They really need a whole new revamp inside this bullpen. I think that's going to be a big focus for them this year, going into, you know, the winter meetings and going into free agency, and that is attacking the free agent, you know, relief pitching market. You know, possibly moving on, you know, from Sergio Romo will be the best thing for this team. You know, get some, you know, new phases in the bullpen. Will Smith was an excellent pickup for the team. He's going to be sticking around next year as a late inning reliever, possibly even a setup man. I think that Hunter Strickland should take a step back out of being taken out of that role. So, I mean, that's going to be one of the biggest focuses on the San Francisco Giants going into the offseason, and that's trying to find relief help. So, I think that's a big focus there. As for hitting wise, this team has a lot of great talent around them. I still think that, you know, they need to improve a lot at third base. You know, Eduardo Nunez is a great addition to the team, but he has yet to be seen in this series, in my opinion. It's just, he is not, you know, he's not that long-term option at third base. You know, Gillespie is a good option, but, you know, that's probably one of the weakest points in this team, and that's in that corner position, and that's at third base. So maybe they could be in play of a third baseman in the free agent market, depending on who's available and who's not available. So there's a lot of, a lot of building to do for the San Francisco Giants. You know, what is next for this team? So the San Francisco Giants, they fall. The even year San Francisco Giants, their magic of winning a championship every even year is no longer intact. Maybe 2017 they can start the transition of, you know, doing an odd year. Can they win, you know, a championship every odd year now? So, I mean, these are all, you know, things for the future. Let me hear you guys' opinion about this. The Chicago Cubs move on to the National League Championship Series by defeating the San Francisco Giants 6-5 in Game 4 of the National League Division Series.